Welcome to the Bastrop podcast. Real people, real stories, all from right here in Bastrop, Texas. I'm your host, Matt Walker, a local business owner, realtor, and entrepreneur with Wisdom House Realty Group and Bastrop Drone and Media Company. We sit down with the locals, shaping our community, from the mayor's office to Main Street shops, and bring you the voices behind the town we call home.
Welcome to the Bastrop podcast. I'm Liana Walker, and usually Matt Walker is hosting, so this is a special treat. I'm sitting down today with one of the co-owners of Community Gardens, Autumn Pyka. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me on.
I'm so excited about this. For listeners who haven't visited yet, what is Community Gardens?
Yeah, we're a little bit of everything, but our main goal is that we are a community center. So we have a plant nursery, we have a restaurant, and we have community events. And we just really want to be a hub to where people can come and shop for plants, grab a bite to eat, and their kids can run around and have a good time.
That's awesome. I love community gardens myself personally. My family love it. We're here all the time. We're coming back tonight for a real estate meetup. What was your original vision of community gardens?
So it wasn't at all what Community Garden is at all. My husband has a online business, and so we were originally looking for a warehouse. We literally needed a metal building that had no windows just so that we could ship things out. And he has family out in Rosanke, so like my kids will be like sixth generation. So we're very familiar with this area and have driven by what is now Community Gardens a million times. But it was one Sunday, my husband was like, hey, I think I found a place. And so after church, we came up here and I was standing on the bridge, and this was in August, and the place was a mess. It had been sitting here for 5+ years. The things that are now pools were ponds, and there was literal fish in there. And I'm standing on the bridge looking at this place that is not a warehouse at all, has a million windows. And he was like, hey, I have to run around the back. He had to actually crawl through a broken window to open up the front doors. We had permission. And I'm standing on the front bridge, and it was honestly like the most audible God has ever spoken to me without being audible. And I felt on the right side of my body like this cold sensation, and then this like overwhelming feeling of peace. And I'm just standing here looking at this place, having this feeling, and I was just like, what is going on? And we had just come back from church, and this is strange, but we had these little rocks that we were supposed to write something that we wanted to be like better at or something that we struggled with. And so I had my hands in my pocket and I had my hands on this rock, and it said faith. And I am kind of black and white. My husband is the dreamer, and he can see things in color. And like I said, I'm kind of black and white, and I would never just jump into something like this. And I went and I set that rock down in what's now like right at the front of our building, the flower bed. And I just put it there. And like, I just knew that this was our future. God just told me for whatever reason, this was it. And so by the time he came and opened the front doors, my first response to him was, I'm in. And he was like, what? Because that's not me at all.
Wow.
And that's kind of how we've run it from the very beginning, is that it's just been set. God has just like opened up doors, and we've walked through them and had that faith. And this is not at all what we had intended, but here we are now. And a lot of things have worked. A lot of things haven't. A lot of doors have opened and closed. But yeah, so the vision for this place was not at all what it came to be. But once we got into it, it was such a beautiful building. We were like, we can't just be a warehouse. So that's when my husband, who is just a serial entrepreneur, was like, well, there has to be other businesses that just need that like start and maybe don't have the capital or the real estate to do it. Maybe we could be their launching pad. And so that's kind of where we started, was like, hey, we're a small business with a big building. Let's help the community. Let's work together. It's a little different than what other businesses do, because we really truly do want everyone to succeed, and we can work together and have synergy. And so if it's real estate, if it's a nonprofit, like we can all work together. It doesn't have to be like a competition. And so that's really what came about from an open door for us. We wanted to give other open doors for other people. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's at least a start. So that's kind of how we got everything started. And it was not at all what we intended, but everything we didn't know we needed.
I love that story. It's so like awesome when you have a clear answer from God, and it's hard to, you can't explain it to anyone other than it happened.
Yeah.
But I love that. Community Gardens truly does help the community. There's multiple businesses here. What are some of the businesses that are here? Like what types of businesses are currently here?
Yeah, so we have our restaurant. We personally operate our plant nursery and our event side of things. We host events. You can also rent the venue for events. We have a chiropractor. We do real estate. We have a few nonprofits that are involved. And then we have a rock yard and landscape supply next door. So a little bit of everything, seriously.
I love that. That's so fun. So was that your original intention behind Community Gardens?
Well, once we kind of found the place and we had this space and we wanted to share it with people, we just thought, hey, we've tried a few different things. So when we first started, we're like, we'll just bring a bunch of different people and they'll have their little spaces, which was great in theory, but we learned a lot of things. But what really happened was like we were going in a way and then COVID happened. And COVID was a really hard time that we had to survive, but it also gave us a chance to pause and like really look at the trajectory of what we wanted community gardens to look like on the other side. So it was a really hard time, but also a blessing in that it let us have that pause and really rethink how we wanted to structure things going forward. We were learning. I mean, it was brand new. So we did things wrong and we thought it would be a lot easier. Maybe it's naivety, but we learned a lot from a lot of discomfort and we're able to like pivot and change and be like, hey, this worked, this didn't, let's try this. And really we're able to, become what we are today from trying different things and not being afraid to try to do things a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, just that you survived COVID is a miracle in itself.
Yes.
Yeah. How did you even survive that? Did you do any virtual things?
We did, and we tried to, mostly we went on to we kind of shifted to online. So we tried to do plant sales where you could just pick it up. We had to change how we did restaurants picking up. So we just had to adapt and kind of wait it out and survive and just kind of go into lockdown mode, but be able to function as much as we possibly could for the circumstances that we had. And luckily we came out on the other end of it, I think stronger because we had time to put some processes in place.
So Autumn, what is your role currently within Community Gardens?
So I do a bunch of different things, but we have a really small team, but they're all really great in their areas. I have a background in event planning and coordinating, so we bring that to the table. But my main role now is the nursery and kind of the look and feel. My favorite thing to do is to make a space feel comfortable or feel inviting. And so I really try to help manufacture that look and feel of community gardens and maintain that. And I like to change things up and paint walls and do random things, but it's all with intention to make it feel inviting and that everyone feels comfortable here. And then I do a lot of the plant nursery, how it looks and feels, ordering and helping manage our team, and then kind of spearheading doing events. In a small business, you kind of wear every hat. And we have a big building, but we really are a small business and a small team. So I kind of help in all the areas, but my main area is to make things feel comfortable, make events feel comfortable and add little special things to them. And then the plant nursery, ordering and the look and feel of that as well.
I love that. I have felt that when I come here. I've met friends here. We've done a little toddler co-op in the past.
Oh, that's right.
And Momco meets here, and my family loves the restaurant, and we've seen it shift over the years as well, just the time that we've been in Bastrop. And I'm very grateful for Community Gardens. My Bible study meets here, so we're very grateful because there's not a lot of places like that. You can feel the intentionality of it, and especially the play area and the events are very intentional, and y'all put a lot of effort into marketing those really well. So yeah, your efforts are very noticed, and I get to enjoy the fruits of your labor with it too. So thank you for that.
Thank you. That means a lot. A lot of these, the behind the scenes, it's a lot of work, but it's especially our pumpkin patch, but it's that first kid or family that comes up and is in awe. It's man, this is the reason that we do it. It makes it so worthwhile to see the community excited and enjoying it. So it's like all a labor of love. So thank you for appreciating it.
Yeah. And our son's first birthday was here in
that's
2022.
Right. Yeah.
And then I think we did one more birthday here in like 2024. And then we decided we probably shouldn't keep giving him pumpkin patch birthday parties so that he's not, traumatized as an October birthday. But my kids love the pumpkin patch, the train, painting the pumpkin, the foam thing, whenever you do that, so many fun. Our kids' memories and our memories with them, many of them are here. So we really appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah. That means so much to us.
So going back to your team, what does it look like when you communicate with your staff or the other businesses? Do you have regular check-ins or what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, for our team, we have weekly meetings and we're always in communication, and we have like connect teams, and we do have different ways that we communicate because there is so many moving parts that being in constant communication is just necessary. But we do that by having meetings every week and then just really connecting with each other. It's a blessing that our staff, we're all like family. That brings other challenges too, but we really are like a family, and everyone that works here like deeply cares for community gardens, which is, you don't get that everywhere. And so we're extremely blessed by who works here and who's involved. And then all of our partners too. We've been really particular about what partners are in because it's like letting somebody into your family. It's not just a regular business to where this is where I have an office. It's all of these people really care truly about community gardens and each business that's inside of it. So with all of our partners, it's open communication. We share spaces, which presents its own challenges sometimes, but I feel like we've all gotten really good about effectively like managing different situations. And just the biggest thing is just communicating clearly and, dealing with discomfort head on and, moving through it. So communication is key. And we try to communicate as much as we possible, probably too much, but it's what makes it work. So
that's awesome. I love that you're all communicating a lot. And it is really important to kind of hand select who's in your everyday circle. Especially in business, there's a lot of like good people out there, and then there's some shady businesses. So it's very good to be intentional about who you're surrounding yourself with. And then you are co-owner with your husband, right?
Correct,
and then your brother-in-law also is, what is his role in it?
Yeah, so we're all the owners, but my husband and I are more of like the owners and operators. He wears multiple hats, serial entrepreneur as well. And so he does his things, and he's more of a support role. He's a great person to like bounce things off of. And, when we have questions, he's really great at like pinpointing the issue and working through it. But my husband and I are more the owner-operator, boots on the ground. I mean, I have my kids here. I put them to work too. So we're the owner-operators, and then he's more of like a support ownership type of situation. So,
okay, cool. And that's your husband's brother?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, his older brother. So,
nice. I love that. Family business.
Yes. Family-owned, operated. I always say it because I'll have my kids like putting barcodes on plants, and I'm like, hey, you got to use everybody.
Yes.
So.
That's what I tell people. It's a family business because we've got our two little realtors with us all the time.
All the time. And they're going to be so much better at all of this than us. But my daughters, they like did a thing like what they want to be when they grow up. And I mean, it was a million different things, but one of them was like to own community gardens, which is like so sweet and makes it all. I was like, okay, we're doing something. They're not like you said, traumatized of us like dragging them up here all the time, but they love it, and they feel like they have their own little pumpkin patch, and they rollerblade through community gardens on, you'll see them coming through. So that's been a huge blessing to us because we always wanted our kids with us. Like we always just wanted to bring them along for the ride, and they certainly have, and have made it a more enjoyable one. So.
I love that. A lot of people always ask Matt and I, what's it like working with your spouse? That's like, we get that question all the time.
Yeah.
So how has it been for you and your husband working together?
Yeah, it's wonderful. It is a huge blessing. To say it's always wonderful, I get on his nerves, but we've grown so much from the beginning to where we are now. Like we just talk in such a way, because it's really hard to like go home and not talk about work. And we talk about community gardens all the time, but we think so differently that I feel like we balance each other out. out. Like I said, he's the dreamer. And I'm like, well, how are we going to pay for it? So I always say he's the balloon and I'm like the one holding the string, because it is. We are very different people, but we complement each other so much. And he is like, comes up with the idea and I'm like, okay, I'm going to get in there and like, how am I going to figure out how to do this? So it's a really big blessing. If I didn't say there isn't discomfort and that we have to navigate it, and work-life balance is definitely something that, especially at the beginning, was really difficult. And we had two young, like at the beginning, we bought this place in 2017 in August. And in September, we found out we were having our first baby. Then the next year we had another baby and then another one. So we've literally grown with this place, and our family has grown with this place. So through all of those challenges, he and I have met on a different level of like, to where now we just, can communicate and communicate honestly. Sometimes it's not stuff you want to hear, but it's stuff you need to hear. So it is a huge blessing because we get to have our whole family together instead of one of us going off to work or both of us going off to work. We get to spend a lot of time together, and there's growing pains, of course, but it is such a huge blessing to be able to do that and have, not only is our family life on the same trajectory, it's like our work life, like we're doing the same thing. So it's really neat to like just be enmeshed in all of that together and going through a common goal for home and our business. It's really cool.
I love hearing about another family that kind of functions that way.
Yeah.
And that's definitely how we operate too. Yeah. It's like we get to spend every day together, and it comes with challenges.
Sure.
But it's also, for us, I prayed for this since Matt and I were dating, like, long time ago. Like, this has always been my vision. I always wanted it to be like a family business. And that's one thing, like for me, that when I look around at my life and I see us with our kids all the time and present parents, it's like a prayer come true. Like we're working together, we're living together, we're homeschooling together. And so, I love it. It's not for everyone.
No, but it's like we're building our lives together and our business together. And it's just, it's the same thing. We always, like before we had children, we had that conversation. Like we want to be with our kids all the time and drag them around with us. And we do. Like I take them to plant nurseries. The first things they learned to count were plants and learned, all of those things. So it's just a fun and unique way to do business and family all at the same time. So I am immensely thankful that God allowed us that situation to do that, and a lot of hard work and sacrifice too. But it's just been a really cool ride doing that together. So hopefully it continues forever.
Yeah, I love that for your family.
Thanks.
Your kids sound like they have a really amazing childhood so far. So, and they will continue to.
Yes, I hope so. Yeah. And if, they're beginning to be little entrepreneurs too. So it's so funny. They'll come up here and be like, oh, we're going to sell art, or we're going to do this. And we're like, you go, girl, like whatever you
Maybe
think.
a kids art or a kids market in the future.
I know. We've thought about it. I think it will definitely happen. So
awesome. Speaking of families, I personally love bringing my family here. Our kids love playing in the sandbox and going on the seesaw, and we love sitting on the back patio enjoying a margarita on a hot summer day, and the kids are running around in the backyard. We love the kids events that you put on and the bounce houses and all of the fun things. My kids love coming here. And it's always felt like a safe place to bring our kids. Back when you had a coffee shop here, it always felt like, okay, where are we going to go today? When it's hot out, I can bring the kids here. They'll love running around. Would you say that Community Gardens is very like family inviting, family focused?
Yeah, that's our whole goal. Community Gardens, like I said, it kind of built itself on like we went down these certain pathways, but we also were starting our family. And so we wanted to have kind of all the things that we liked. And sometimes going to a restaurant with little kids, it's not that enjoyable. So we love that kids are constantly running around here and that they get to, just be themselves, and they can be a little bit loud, and they can run around in the main area or run outside. So everything that is about Community Gardens is kind of based on things that we were needing and that we were wanting. So Community Gardens is named Community Gardens because that's what we always wanted to do. We always wanted the community to feel some ownership here and feel like they belonged and that it was made for them. So we're a family. We're family owned and operated. So like we want everybody's family to come here and feel comfortable. And And if your kid's yelling and running around, like good, like there's nothing better than having kids running around. It's like what brings us so much joy. Or getting to take them out into the nursery and show them plants and let them touch things and realize that you can grow your own food. Like that is a huge part of the community. And like some kids just think you get it at the grocery store. So we love when kids are hands-on and families feel like come here for events and know that they can have a good time and their kids are so welcome. So yeah, it's everything we want in a place for our kids and for our family. And so we want that to be for the community, that they know this place is always family friendly and dog friendly, and just to come and you can just be yourself and be comfortable.
Thank you for adding that for the community. Thanks. So I do have a question about what people can do other than what we've talked about, as far as like having a birthday party or maybe renting a space, the kitchen area. I have a friend that does like a sourdough workshop.
Yeah. Yep.
But what kind of options are there for people to use the space, maybe host a dinner or even a quinceañera, or renting the back space? Like, what are those options here?
Yeah, so we have where you can just rent the space and have your own event. We also have Chapala Fiesta that does catering, and they host events as well. But yeah, you can rent our backyard, you can rent the inside, you can rent out our greenhouse. We've done everything from, quinceañeras to birthday parties to corporate casino nights. We have a stage out back so we can do concerts. So we really can host any type of event. And so that's just something that you can contact us, and then we can, if it's something that the restaurant would do, then we connect them. But yeah, so we can really rent it out for any variety of events. We've probably done it. So we're happy to accommodate. And if it's something we haven't done, like we will make it happen. So yeah, we love for the community, and also for galas or raising, money for chamber stuff. We've also done for nonprofits. You can do like charitable organizations do events here. So we really are here to like host any type of event and work with them on like, what they want to do.
I love that. Speaking of all of the different spaces that you can rent, how does community gardens change seasonally?
Yeah, so because we're a plant nursery and we do landscape supply, it's obviously a seasonal thing. So spring and fall are our really busy seasons. So you'll see it just the space changes in that we're busting out of the seams with plants during spring, which is my name's Autumn, so I feel like fall has to be, which is one of my favorite seasons. But spring just brings like rejuvenation. It's so fun to get all the plant orders in and have just tons of fresh foliage and everything out there. And it's fun for people to come in and they send us their pictures and we get to see a space like transformed. And then, in the summer when it's so hot, we dial everything back. We don't have as many plants, but then we try to do like kids' days and pet adoption days and kind of just go with the different seasons. Like we have our different events. We have our, fall home and garden show, our spring home and garden show, and then Mother's Day's events, Easter events. So we kind of just go with the seasons, and we have our holiday market. So we transform, we adapt on the slower months. That's when we're like rebuilding and fixing things up or trying, doing projects that we want, want to do throughout the year in those slower times. So you do see like ebbs and flows, especially in our business being a nursery. But it's great because it allows us to do something different and gear ourselves, different. During December, it's like we have our holiday market and then we do a lot of holiday parties. So it's fun that in our business, it's always changing and it's always something different and new. And that's one of the things I love about our business is that it's never the same. And you're going to come here, and every single time you come here, there's going to be something different to do or see. And I really love that about being in this business particularly.
Yeah, one thing I really loved this year was the Christmas garden house. Do you want to share a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, so I've always had a vision of doing a pop-up bar, and then with Chapala Fiesta, I said, I'll decorate. Y'all have to run it, but I'll decorate it. And I was like, it's going to take me like a few days. 3 weeks later, but it was just fun, and it added a whole nother layer of like they were able to do a lot of holiday events and stuff with just an extra fun, festive. Hopefully it's something that we can grow on every year and do bigger and better. That's kind of our whole mission, right? Is to every year we want to do it bigger, better, and with more intention. So every time we try something new, sometimes it works and we say, that was great, let's do it again and let's do it better. And then sometimes it doesn't. We say, okay, well, maybe we won't be doing that again. But that's what the cool thing is like we have a space where we can just like kind of be fearless and try out new things. And so we'll do new things all the time. And sometimes they're great, sometimes but it's really fun and it keeps things very interesting because there's always something new and different.
I really enjoy that each year, seeing what you will put out there. Like when the Christmas pop-up bar came up, my friends and I were like very excited. It was like something new and fun and picture cute, which is always like the attraction.
Yes.
So speaking of the Home and Garden Show, can you tell us about that a little bit more in detail? When is it and what is the significance of that?
Yeah, so our Home and Garden Show is always the first full weekend in March every year. And we held it on that weekend because it was our grand opening weekend. And we're celebrating that too every year. But it's really like our kickoff to spring. It's like after all this freezes, and it's just really like that, like, here we come spring. So we have lots of great vendors and inspiration. We do classes and all kind of stuff over the weekend. So it's just a really fun, like, kickoff to spring and plant sales. It's one of my favorite events of the year just because it really does feel like you're walking in and everybody's walking out with plants and new ideas. And I love it. It's just a really fun part of the year for us.
Yeah, and one of the things I love about being in a small town is events like that feel like a town meeting because everyone you know will be there.
Yes.
All your friends, your kids' friends, and it really, those type of events is where it really feels like a Hallmark town. Like, you know people and everyone's so nice and it's just like a perfect day. My memories of coming here for the Home and Garden Show in the past and all of your events are always really happy memories. And especially because the kids are happy.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so they're happy, we're happy, and it's just a really beautiful space. The garden area is beautiful. And then the backyard, it's a huge space.
It is, yes.
We did the Easter egg hunt, which are you doing that again or is that on pause?
It got a little too big and we are very, like I said, intentional about our events. And when our events get to be like too big to where it's not as enjoyable for everyone, we kind of have to dial it back and be like, okay, let's rework this. This year we are having an Easter event, but instead of doing an Easter egg hunt, we're doing an Easter, like a scavenger hunt so that it doesn't feel so chaotic and everybody has a chance to do it throughout the whole day. And so we're going to try that. And so that every kid gets prizes and everybody gets, but it'll be like a fun, interactive, we'll have face painters. And so it'll be more of like an event for the whole day with some fun. The Easter Bunny will be here. We are definitely doing that, just changing it up. And maybe that's what we love doing. Like instead of the traditional like Easter egg hunt, that if you are 2 minutes late, you've missed it, is more, it's going to be something that you can do throughout the day and just have some like fun, different things throughout the day. So we're excited about doing it just a little different.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. When we were here for the one, I guess 2 years ago, or maybe that was last year. Did you do one last year?
We did not. It was our first year that we didn't, just because the year before I think we had over like 500 kids and our space back there is big, but it's a lot to manage. We did over 13,000 eggs and those things were gone like so fast.
Yeah. Every day we would come in like for weeks beforehand. The lady at the front, Misty was like filling the eggs. And then at the event, it was really fun. And I completely understand why you would kind of want to shift directions. It was a lot of fun, but it felt like a festival.
Yes.
Like a music festival.
Yes.
It was packed.
It was.
Which is always a good thing.
Sure.
But I think that your pivot is like a wise decision.
Yeah.
And that sounds a lot more like enjoyable for a family.
Yes. We're all about the experience, right? We don't want to sacrifice that, we had 1 million people here, but it was no fun, you know? So we always want to like make sure that the experience matches up, that it's an enjoyable experience for everyone. So pivoting is kind of, I feel like, the only way that we can still have an enjoyable experience for everybody.
Yeah, and the staff need to remain sane as well.
That is a huge part of it too. Yes, for sure.
Yeah. What have you learned since 2017 when community gardens opened?
A lot. A big part of it is that not everything, like I said before, is like black and white. It's taught me to be able to embrace change, which for a lot of people, change is hard. It's really hard for me to pivot. It has taught me that a lot of personal and professional growth comes from discomfort and situations that you can't even plan for, that you just have to deal with. There's so many things that I didn't know, and now I do. And I never thought I would, own a plant nursery and I would know so much about plants, but it's been such a fun experience opening myself up to things that I would have never would have. And with my husband being an entrepreneur and being a big dreamer, he's opened me up to I would say that I'm a little bit more fearful. And so I do things all the time, a little afraid. And that's what I want to teach my girls. It's okay to be afraid of something and do it anyways. I don't ever want them to stop because it seems hard or they don't know where to start. I just want them to jump and just start somewhere. And so community gardens has taught me to be adaptable and to do things afraid. And it's okay to be afraid. And it is also okay if it doesn't work. I think I'm a people pleaser. I say I'm a recovering people pleaser, but I'm really afraid to fail at something. And we've failed at things before. And from that, it was a closed door also means that other doors can open. So from discomfort, from doing things that didn't work, and then doing things that did work, there's lessons and there's so much growth from there. And who I am now from when we started, so much stronger, have so much more faith. And I am able to trust a lot more, whether it's in my husband's leadership, in God's leadership, in my coworkers and our employees. I just feel I went from having to control everything and being super fearful of trying anything to now I'm hey, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We'll pivot. We'll change it. And it wasn't supposed to. And this is why, because another door is going to open. So I've just become personally able to adapt to change and roll with it so much easier than before. So, and I'm a very anxious person. I get anxiety. So this place has just put me in a lot of discomfort, but all for the good. And I'm so thankful for that. And I'm really thankful that it opened me. If I was too fearful to do this, I wouldn't be sitting here with you right now. I wouldn't know you. I wouldn't know all of the people and have the deep friendships and connections that we have if I was just afraid of how to get there. So I think that's probably the most I've learned is that it's okay to fail. It's okay to do hard things and to just do them anyways, even if they seem hard, even if it seems like there's a million roadblocks. But if it's something you want to do, just do it and pick yourself up if it doesn't work and pivot and change is probably, I feel the most professional and personal growth for me personally.
I love hearing stories about how people grow and change because not everybody goes through significant changes.
Yeah.
Or they're not willing to allow those changes to happen.
Yeah.
And so I love hearing stories like that about how God really transformed you into, almost a different person in that area of your life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's really encouraging because there are some people who refuse to change.
Yeah.
And so it's really beautiful that you allowed God to work in your life and that you took risks and it got easier. With each risk you took, it got easier. And it's cool from a science perspective how your neuroplasticity actually does change if you allow yourself to step out of your comfort zone again and again.
Yeah.
And also for you, the results of allowing that change to happen is very visible. You have this community center and these relationships and these events that the ripple from all of that is significant. And so it's just a really significant testimony of God's change in your life, but also your willingness to step out again and again.
Yeah, because it was, like I said, that isn't me, right? And I think about that. I was God, when I was standing on that thing, put me in there because he's I wouldn't do it on my own, right? And without my husband's encouragement, I would just never take a leap. And God knew this place is going to introduce you to so much discomfort and so many challenges, but he knew that I needed it and he knew I wouldn't take that step on my own. So that's been it's been such a huge blessing that I can't even imagine if I hadn't now, I wouldn't be who I am now. And so I'm so grateful because I wouldn't have done it on my own. I may have stayed in one space if I hadn't been forced to step out, like you said. So
yeah. And I love when your work becomes fun versus your work that sucked. and you're like at a job that you don't like. And then when your work becomes fun, it doesn't feel like work.
Right.
It feels completely different. And we interact with business owners all the time who operate in that like fun of like, I love what I do. I know what I'm good at. I know what God's called me to. And it's a lot of relationship building.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't feel like when I used to work a desk job 9 to 5 that I didn't enjoy. Nothing wrong with desk jobs, but I didn't enjoy that environment. I didn't enjoy what I was doing. And I felt completely different than I do now. Now I honestly don't feel like I'm working most of the time.
Yeah.
Even though I am working.
Right.
It's like I'm having conversations with you, or I'm, having conversations with other business owners, or viewing beautiful houses, or whatever it is. It doesn't feel like work.
Right.
And I feel like that's what God's intention is for us. Of course, there are days and there are lots of things that I don't want to do.
Sure.
And I have to force myself to do them.
Yes.
But the majority of the time, I feel like I'm operating in like a profession that I love and that is fun. And I get to see positive results quickly from what I'm doing.
Right.
Which is such a more fulfilling way to live. And I also would not ever have been in this place without God's like completely, redirecting our life.
Right.
So yeah, I'm really grateful to hear that you and your family are also very similar, and that you are in a place that you feel like fulfilled with your days and how you're operating.
Yeah, my husband always says it's like looking at it as an opportunity, like getting to go to work is an opportunity. Like everything is an opportunity. It's a chance to do something different. It's a chance that if you can make your community or your job like a better place, like that is our responsibility. And so it's really cool that like if you like owning your own business, or if you're at a job that you really feel like you're having an impact, or you just love that you're building something, it's just such a blessing. And it is like changing that thought of like, oh, this is an opportunity. I get to have an opportunity to go meet a new person today or impact somebody's life in a positive way. Like, what a cool way to go to work every day. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah. So what is the vision for community gardens?
Yeah, I mean, we change and we're adaptable, but our main vision is to continually be community driven. And so it's, adding another playground maybe, or just doing on the more entertainment side is continuing to support small businesses through our offices and like feed the need, nonprofits. Like we love supporting them. We love that they're here and in our offices. So that vision won't change. Our like kind of mission statement is to change the way like businesses and the community interact and how they interface, and just continuing to encourage small businesses and be a hub for them where they can come and meet new people through, if it's through our events or through like our vendor events, or if it's through having meetings here or having an office here. Like we just want to always encourage those small businesses to have a launching pad. And if they stay here forever, great. If they stay here and then they grow and then that's awesome too. We just want them to be able to have a start. And we always want to be community driven and really like going more towards like families and entertainment and doing more events. That's really where we see the future of community gardens continuing to go, is like, people come and give us ideas all the time. We're like, oh, that's a good one. How could we, how do we pay for that? So, and sometimes it's like we have all these plans, but we are a small business. So we do have to figure out, we don't just have unlimited funds. So we have to figure out like, okay, we want to do this and add this, but we have to be able to do it at a time that makes sense for us. So having patience is also, we have a million ideas, but we just have to like do it in a smart and intentional way to when like we can keep adding things. But we will always continue to add. We'll always continue to adapt and change and grow and hopefully be better all the time. So that's our goal.
I love that. I can't wait to see what the future brings for community gardens. And we'll continue to be here.
Yes.
Okay, so we always like to ask our guests for 60 seconds of wisdom. So if you could share 60 seconds with our audience, with the listeners, of wisdom that you find to be true in your life, what would it be?
I think I kind of touched on it earlier, but to do things afraid. I think growing up and in my college life, I didn't do some things that I wanted to because it was too far away from my family. I think I was a very fearful person, and it shaped me for who I am. But I think I have 3 little girls. And so I want them to know that like it is okay to be terrified of doing something and doing it anyways. I'm afraid of flying. And we went on a trip to Hawaii. I took my kids on a long flight, and I was like, this is crazy. And my girls kept asking me, they were like, aren't you afraid of flying? I said, yes, I am. But we're going to do it anyways. And we have so many beautiful memories from that trip. So I think a big part of it is to not get so in your own way. Instead of avoiding discomfort, embrace it, because you are going to grow and it's going to, stink while you're in the middle of it. And maybe you have to have uncomfortable conversations, but you have to be true and you have to be authentic. And on the other side of that discomfort is growth and change. So for me is do it anyways. Like, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's a lot of hard work, even if you're going to have to sacrifice, like, in the end, if it's something you want, it's totally worth it. For me, especially with 3 girls in a business and personal, is I just want them to not feel like they have to be constrained to any set standard of being. I want them to have a dream and follow it. I was fearful and I didn't follow a lot of the dreams that I wanted to. And luckily, my husband is such a dreamer and he has no bound. He's like, we'll just do it. We'll do it. I want them to have, like, obviously it's good to have both sides of that. So I hope my girls have that, but to just be okay with change. Life is all change all the time, and just do it anyways. Like, even if it's scary, just do it. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay. Do something different. So I would just say that. Yeah. It's okay to be afraid.
Yeah, it's really, really good advice. And it's great for your children to hear that. And I hope my kids also learn that. Yeah. Awesome. Well, fun fact. When I was a little girl, my baby doll was named Autumn.
Aww.
So I love the name Autumn,
so
and it was on our baby girl list. But God bless us with boys.
Yes.
So, but it's a very special name.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on today as a guest. This has been awesome. Wonderful to hear this. I learned a lot about you and a lot about community gardens, and I know the community is going to be very interested in hearing all of this that you shared with me today. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for everything y'all do and giving businesses an opportunity to share their story. I think that they, people wonder and they're like, what do these people do? Or what are they, and so it's nice to get a little behind the scenes and let people know the real people behind businesses. So thank you for what you do. And thanks for having me. It's been so fun.
Thanks for listening to the Bastrop Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, follow us on Instagram at Bastrop Podcast and share it with a neighbor. We're here with new conversations from people who make Bastrop feel like home. Got someone you think we should interview? Reach out. We'd love to hear from you.